good.
It's good to have everything for the folks. It's 5 o'clock.
Are you on?
Yes.
Okay. This meeting is called to order. It is November 12th, 2021, and thank you for everybody that's here today. We'll start the first item on the agenda with the Pledge of Allegiance. Everybody would stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Thank you. Our second item on the agenda is the approval of previous minutes from the November 9th meeting. Has everyone had a chance to look at those?
Yes.
I make a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes.
That's a proper motion. All those in favor, aye. Say aye. Meeting minutes are approved. The next item on the agenda is November 2nd, 2021 annual school election, the final provisional hearing.
All right, so for November 2nd, we had non-provisionals that were recommended to not be counted. 6 for not providing photo ID, and none of those individuals showed up by the deadline Monday to provide the photo ID. We had 2 that were not registered to vote and 1 at the wrong polling location. So those recommendations still stand. The 10 that were recommended to be counted have been tabulated and are in the official results. And I don't believe we had anybody for the provisional ballot hearing.
Okay. Do you need a motion?
I believe so. And Wanda has the official list. so
Okay.
we need to be in the
Were there any overseas military that had some?
There was an overseas military ballot that came in, and it was also tabulated and placed into the official results.
Everyone has a copy
Yeah.
of the provisional ballot sheet.
Yeah, I think we just get to keep these and look at them.
Okay.
You have the real one.
Yes. So do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve the provisional ballot disposition list.
We're not on the disposition list, we're on the,
Any decisions on the?
yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion is approved. Go ahead and initial these.
Yeah, the signatures are just initials. Yes.
All right. The next item on the agenda is certification of the official election results from the annual school election, November 2nd, 2021.
We made the results.
Okay. Is there one of these
And
that,
I have already signed
okay.
for all of
Would anyone like to read the official results? Commissioner Raymond.
The official results for the annual school election for the Pulaski County Special School District. Millage question, 1,563 for, 871 against. There was 1 undervote. For the Little Rock School District millage question, the votes were 742 for, 1,867 against, and 5 undervotes.
All right. Do you want us to initial sign one of these copies, or do you have one for us to sign initial?
I have all of the official
Okay.
reports for you too.
All right. Sounds good.
So we'll just start. And y'all can either stamp them or... No, we have a certificate of election too for the candidates, so you'll want to start. I could start those with you, baby. So they have a pretty one and then a white one on the back, so you'll see later.
Is it just the top page on this one?
Yes, yes, and that's the complete abstract for all of the schools, and then we have the individual.
See, we did, we had to move around.
How many days I'll get that H right in the name?
That what?
The H.
On what?
It's really hard to sign H in my name.
Oh, I do that with the L.
So different. To be. It's really
And this,
We haven't gotten to that
y'all get, I need your copy of
I give
this.
them each a copy of the ballot disposition form, and that is the one to be signed, this paper, yes.
Yeah, that's the one.
yet. But we need to talk about it. or just-
Yeah, and
You can, but
if we, I mean,
if you have any questions about it.
it has the ballot disposition, and it shows all of our provisional ballots, and
Okay,
we've
this-
updated it with the final information. And that's the State Board of Election Commission report that we sent to them.
Yeah, I think whoever prepares it is the signature.
I think,
Yep.
so I noticed there was just one signature, so
Yeah, I
that would be
asked Daniel
us.
about it, so it would be whoever
That's-
prepares it.
That makes sense.
Because I was like, there's no way
Right.
for us for us to sign.
Last time I know y'all signed it.
Yeah, it's like this, because there's nowhere to sign.
Okay. Y'all are good with that.
Made no
I'll go ahead and
sense.
sign it since I prepared it.
These two.
I really think about this now.
Sign it.
At least I can believe it. Oh, they probably did it. Betty just told me your stamp is gone.
Guess I must have seen one of those. My ink might be running low though.
Is it?
Oh, no, it's good now. I just had press order.
Okay, he's already signed it. He's already signed that.
That's yours.
I don't know where the clip is on
That's
this one.
okay. I'll keep them all together. I'm checking them.
Checking once, checking twice.
It's fast.
I think he's used to
That's
doing
how Tim
this.
does his.
I think he's used to signing lots of things. I have two of these. Did this come loose in something? official results. Got you.
It may have picked up off, I may have been over here on my
Oh.
side. Probably got picked up.
Okay.
Did you lose yours?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Probably that.
Oh, here you go as well, sorry. Let's just
Oh,
get,
good.
just get more steps in.
I know I need it.
You don't need it.
Oh, wait a minute,
Okay, next up is the November 9th Little Rock Special Election Preliminary Review of Provisional Ballots.
Okay, so in front of you, you have a copy of the provisional ballot spreadsheet. We had 19 in-person provisional ballots, 6 were cast during early vote, 13 on election day. 4 are recommended by the clerk's office to not be counted, 1 for not being a registered voter, 2 voted at the wrong polling location, 1 did not provide a photo ID. That individual has until Monday at noon on November 15th to bring a photo ID. The other 15 are recommended by the clerk's office to be counted, and the reasons are listed on the spreadsheet.
I have a question on the third from last.
Okay.
I don't understand the explanation. Okay, never mind, I do now. They were in the correct
Right, they're in the
precinct.
correct precinct
Okay,
and they were registered.
all right. On this one that says the voter's not registered, is it possible that the last name has been changed, that the person maybe got married or, and then the first name's not spelled correctly?
Which one are you looking at?
The very first person.
Very first one. Normally that is checked during that process.
I see you guys are looking at it, is checked during that process,
So they checked just to make sure that a person just possibly didn't get married or,
yeah. Even if they got married, I mean, there's one thing we can't,
We used to,
they would have to change their information.
we used to always.
Right.
I'm sure that same process is still happening.
all right. All right. I'm fine with the recommendation. Do you have any questions, Commissioner Scott?
I do not.
Commissioner
I'm
Inman?
fine.
All right. All right.
So they'll notice to the person number 1.
Hey, Amanda, do you mind going ahead and, will y'all go ahead and fill out the disposition form so that we can see the copy reports?
The disposition form, it's already completed, it's in your.
Yeah, you should have a copy of
Yeah.
it.
But that's for the annual school election. It's in your,
Right, but it has to be filled out. But y'all are the ones that are filling it out, or signing it? Do y'all mind
Oh, you mean
signing
one
it in
that
our
signed?
presence? Thank you.
Oh, I signed it over here, I'm sorry.
Oh, did you?
Oh,
Oh, that's
she's on.
fine, that's fine.
It's
you keep yours. That way we have them all together, everything's signed.
I
Yes,
did sign it.
It's a lot of paperwork,
thank you.
especially in 2
I appreciate it.
elections.
Is that like part of the checklist now too? before. All right. The next item is on redistricting, and we have 4 proposed maps. Before we unveil those maps, I just kind of want to go over a little bit of the criteria. I wrote up just a couple of points I remember what we discussed previously, and just basically just what the criteria that we established, and just based on what the law requires, is that districts must be nearly of equal population, comply with the Constitution, 1 person, 1 vote. They must be drawn contiguously so that all parts of districts are connected to one another. Districts should be geographically compact so that nearby areas of population are not bypassed for more distant populations. You're talking about density, not the shape of the district. The districts must minimize the division of the cities. That's one thing we looked at. So basically making sure the communities of interest are remaining together, your cities, your counties, neighborhoods, et cetera, to the extent it's possible. Just some items to note that, one thing that we sought out, that we put the baseline is the current quorum court districts as the baseline. We looked at minimizing splits by incorporating new lines. So not just looking at, the cities, neighborhoods, communities of interest, things like that, but also the congressional, state, city, any of the lines that are currently coming in, making sure that we're incorporating that to minimize the splits. So districts should obviously minimize partisanship. There should be some like a finger sticking out. Just any of those things that VRA, the Voting Rights Act, obviously we're following. And if you go to our website, we have a policy and a plan on there. We've also written down all the laws that go into redistricting. We also have incorporated what the GIS has on their website on redistricting, and just some proposed timelines. We're going to probably kind of tighten up a little bit because we're going to be doing something a little bit unique. I think is really exciting. We're going to be going out into the community after this meeting. Tomorrow we're going to be going out to different areas, I think in West Little Rock and Sherwood. We called lots of places, by the way. Linda called all over the county trying to find places that would take us, but it was just really hard to find locations, obviously a short notice, but just to for us to go out there and take the maps to the communities and have the public comment to them. And the idea is to get that comment in for a specific set of time that we're going to be discussing after these maps are shown. And also to provide, on the website, we have an email set up for people to provide comment. We're going to do some suggestion boxes where people can provide comment. So we're doing all different things to make sure that everyone in the county that are residents of Pulaski County can provide public comment. So I just want to kind of share that. You can go on votepulaski.net for the public comment side. You can come in here and do public comment. There's going to be a box here, I believe. And we're going to be going to the community, and we're going to Wrightsville on Tuesday as well. So without further ado, all right.
Drum roll.
Bailey, drum roll.
And Madam Chair, these are the maps are our starting point for
Correct. These are a
Yes.
starting point, and the public comment, we either add to or create another one. And Melinda, you have some bullet points that you're going to kind of discuss what the maps are and how they're
As
different.
good as I can.
As
And
the-
what we did with Metro Plan is the map, the current JP districts, we held it up. And of course, Hans knew, you know, the different little nuances, but
And I did leave something out. We put some protections in place to make sure there was no outside influences or anything else with this drawing of these maps. We had an individual from Pages come in and they sat with MetroPlan on the drawing of the maps. So I thought that was really unique and pretty cool. We also had the staff had the ability to go in at any point in time and sit with MetroPlan on the drawing of the maps. The maps were not available for release to anyone until at this very moment. So no one else has seen these maps.
We haven't seen them.
We
either.
haven't seen these maps until just now.
and we will, I guess we can after this, but we'll want to determine the public comment
Correct.
period. We'll add that to our website along with, that way when I call the places we want to set them up at, I'll be able to give them details. But, so, I don't know if I should, so on alternative 1, it has the least amount of change. And in our discussion, I just jotted down notes. So this districts 8, 2, and 12 did not change. District 9 extends to the interstate at the top because it needed more population. District 15 was cleaned up from house districts with the house district lines. They kind of cleaned up some lines. Because if you look over here, the current one, then look over. And then 1 probably has the least amount of change. 2 has, it still worked with that idea, but there's more changes in alternative 1. Districts 2, 4, and 12 did not change. Districts 5, I thought I put these in order, 7, 5, and 1 have a lot of change. Districts 13 and 14 kind of lose some of their district to District 10.
What was that again? I'm sorry, I want to repeat that.
And I'll give you a copy of this too, Kathy. It was districts, all of it. Do you want me to repeat all of it?
If you don't mind, please.
Yeah.
And it's Christina, KG.
Oh, Christine, I see. District, more changes in alternative 1. Districts 4, 2, and 12 did not change. Districts 7, 5, and 1 have a lot of change. Districts 13 and 14 lose to District 10 for the population. They had to lose some area. District 15 boundary is cleaned up also in that. So the district boundary. 3 and 4 kind of worked more on the idea of clean boundaries, compact. They cleaned up a lot of things in these, but I'll kind of go over my notes. Cleaned up a lot of boundaries, I should say. Alternative 3 is more compact, is probably, and then it's District 5 has a good shape. That's this right here. District 6 stretches out a little more, and District 8 becomes more compact. Maumelle changes up between Districts 13 and 14, so this area. And I guess I could hold the current one up here, but underneath it.
You're good.
You're fine.
Because districts 10, 13, 15, and 14 have a nice break. So like 10, 13, 14, and 15. So if you look kind of over there, how they're all, it's just cleaner. And wherever they could, they did work with the House and districts, the House and Senate districts. And then on alternative 4, they're more compact, like the alternative 3. District 14 keeps its original shape, and it kind of cleans up the downtown area in District 6 and 9. So when he was explaining it, we were looking at both maps, so that kind of gives you an idea of. And they did not work with like houses or residential addresses on any of these maps. We believe that as far as JP districts now, we don't think, I mean, they're going to have to be looked at as far as if it unseats anybody or anything like that.
You mean none of that was looked at?
It wasn't, we have to look, we would need to put their houses on the map. We don't believe any of them are unseated in any of these plans, but that was not the goal that they worked with. So their houses are not on these maps, like their residential addresses.
Do you know, because it's hard to see, and I'm excited about us having this Google Earth ability to really zoom in and out once we have that on the site. But do you know in like areas, because I can't see that because it's too tiny, but
Yeah.
those are the variances right there of the growth and the shrinkage in populations by the districts.
Mhm.
And I know that takes into account these different areas. In the areas where we had the growth, do we take into account, do we try to reduce the population a little bit under?
See, that's probably more a question for Metro
Okay,
Plan.
but on here, I guess we could see it.
Yeah.
So,
Can we all get up and
I
walk?
really am not a mapping person, so I went over just the details with Metro Plan, and then
so these areas where there was a like West Little Rock, for example, is going to keep growing. So ideally, you'd want to actually reduce its population down in size because it's going to keep getting bigger. In areas that had a decline, you want to actually give them more population.
Right.
That's the way I understood it when I've been listening to all these redistricting seminars with Shelby's team. Do you know if they did that on these maps?
maybe. That's why normally the norm is Metro Plan would present these to you, not me. So,
Well, I think that was part of our discussion when we
Yeah,
discussed
and that's
it.
more, but this is also, hey, get everybody's input and let you look at it.
Right.
And we still probably want to schedule a meeting with Metro Plan.
Who's going to present them tomorrow?
This is,
Um,
we are.
They're just going to show them at the,
Is the current map up there? Is it-
That's the current.
So, which one is the
Current
current?
map's the
Okay,
first.
yeah.
that's fine. Here we have some kind of.
And that kind of helps. I mean, like when I was looking at it with Metro Plan, you take the current one and hold it up
What is the target
next. I mean, you
population?
just, I'm sure some of them take that into account,
Population.
but
Do you have a list? Do you have the variances target population printed out?
actually I did. I have it right in I printed something with it on.
Excuse me, are we allowed to go up to take a look at it?
Absolutely.
Okay,
Please, yeah,
sure.
feel free.
But we can't take pictures of it or anything?
Sure you can.
Absolutely. It's going to be online.
Okay, I
Yeah.
just want to make sure I'm
Absolutely.
following protocol.
Mask up and go
go,
with myself.
go right ahead.
I can't recall exactly.
These are going to be online. They're going to also be out for everybody to come look at. But we're not just the PDF version, but we're going to have it. And we're not going to provide. We don't have the ability to provide technical assistance on this. But if you know how to use, what's the file called for the Google
KMZ or-
KMZ files, overlays. You can drop these on Google Earth and be able to really, because one thing I asked for, and they've been really great about providing, is that I want to be able to zoom down to my actual house level, right? You want to be able to see your community and see exactly how that looks and what it encompasses. So the goal is to be able to zoom down like you would on Google Earth and zoom out and zoom in and pan. So that's what you'll be able to do if you have the ability to do that. If you know how to do that, or if someone else knows how to do that and can show you what that is, then that'd be really helpful. So I'm pretty excited about that. Yes, ma'am.
What is the population of each district supposed to be?
So-
As close as possible?
It's on there. It's on that variance.
The target is 26,608 is the population target
For each district?
for each district. It's not printed on those maps, so it's not. target, it just says the
It's
deviation,
just got the deviation
which,
and the total. It's got the total population.
right. So yeah, and we'll make sure that's printed online as well, the target. Yeah, and 15 is the most you can have for a county, so we have the max that you can have. Because even like the next largest county has 15, even though we're much larger in size. So the cap is 15. No, correct me if I say anything incorrect.
There's the population is listed on
Yeah, it is. $3.99.
So we have a lot of information on the website. A lot of good information out there.
You said 26,608.
26,608 is a target. So if,
Math works.
and with these, and we can print copies of these for
Yeah,
everyone.
yeah, let's.
But this has each district, and it provides the target and the deviation up or down in population. So for example, like a District 1, it's down 15.5%, so it needs to go up. And District 2 is right on target at 1.18. So she's gonna make copies of these for everybody who wants a copy.
These files.
Yeah, this evening, so I can study it. Yeah, tonight, before we go to the meetings. Yeah, I'm sure Melinda, they'll probably be looking over Amanda for the meetings tomorrow. And then probably maybe add some bullet points on the target population for each one for handouts. I don't expect many people, but for anybody that does come.
I don't think many people are gonna come either.
I really just, what I want to see is like the cities intact, the communities intact. But once we have that Google view, we'll be able to really see that.
Are they gonna make a map, interactive map, kind of like the other state house where you
Yeah.
can zoom down on PDA?
Yeah, but as long as you have the knowledge of how to do that, you have to.
That's the Google like, overlay.
Yeah. But it's so useful.
And these maps are going to be displayed on the website tonight.
Yes. And we should have the access to the Google one this evening as well.
Yeah, you really do.
Big change to AIDS.
To-
On the last two.
To 8.
But it lost population.
Yeah.
And the
Negative
geographic
5.4%.
size of 9 has grown.
Has, well, yeah. Well, no, 9 is lost
Yeah, I know.
14%. Yeah. So you had to add a 9. Yeah.
I mean, you can really, that stands out as,
Yeah.
as a change, but not until you get to map 3 and 4.
Right. Yeah, 2 is interesting. Three.
They've already gone over that.
I know they have.
You gonna make me go back?
No, that's That's very different.
Yeah, I just said that's what we're.
Go to Pulaski.net.
you got?
Hey,
They don't have their documents to be printed, but they know it's on it.
Magnifying.
now, map number 3 is the one with the most change, she said?
Map number 3, hold on one
It
second.
doesn't say that.
Map number 3
3 and 4 have had.
is more compact. The more changes, alternative 2 had more changes than 1.
Does alternative 2 have more changes than 1?
Uh-huh.
What does more compact mean?
Thank you.
It means it made it smaller.
And that's why I think we need to look and see what got
I'm
that
trying to
from.
see, this right here,
So
in this area.
if it's more compact, then it's the,
So they're all more common.
it's more, yeah, it's more density, has more dense population.
And that's where you see 8 has geographically shrunk a lot.
Okay, thank you very much.
Don't see any difference in the other too much.
Do you know if they tried to go along natural boundaries on some of these?
That,
You're speaking of boundaries of cities,
Like,
counties,
or the river,
districts.
they could, Hans said, let me know on the river, they could not use that as a marker because of the population. So that's why they couldn't just follow the river because of the variances in population. They worked on that, but.
But traditionally,
But that's
that is a part, that is a factor in the map.
But they didn't cut across North Little Rock, right, Melinda? But they didn't, they used the divider from North Little Rock to the city of Little Rock, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
Again, it would be best if they were here for those type of questions, because
How are we gonna, when will it be on the website?
we were going to post it tonight when everybody leaves after this
And that will
meeting.
include the,
We're going to do the PDFs and the KMZ. It's KML in it, Jody. Z is for
KMZ.
zip, but it's, yeah.
fantastic. Now,
But
that'd be
the
great.
Google files, we'll call them Google files. Okay.
The Google Files.
Okay.
And what type of an account will you have to view them? You said you were not.
I think you can just sign into
Yeah.
your Google
Just
account.
Google,
What
just
if you
sign
don't
into
have
your
a Google
Google.
account?
You don't have a good what? You don't have a Google
To make
account?
one, I guess.
Yeah, to
make
make
one up.
one.
How could you not have a Google account?
Some
It's easy.
workplaces block it,
It's
so,
easy not to. There's plenty of competitors.
yeah. Miss Bailey,
So
that's
we've
what they use
always,
at
we've
school.
always had the part of, in the north side of the river because of the river 9, for instance.
You what?
That's not Little Rock. Little Rock is not all in JP9. It never was because of the Arkansas River.
The
Yeah,
4
and-
has a strange, or 2 and
That's-
4
And
has a
right
strange
here-
shape.
Right here, where it shows this, there is no population.
Right, I know.
So, I mean, we could even color it that, that's just the way it fell on the line, so there's nobody lives here. But you guys probably have, I'm not good with that stuff, but, so.
Well, they look good. I think this is a good assortment of maps to begin our journey into selecting one that will best serve our county.
So 2 and 4 has a strange shape.
And I think really it's hard, you really have to get into the
Yeah, I'm
lines and-
curious
I
what
mean,
that is.
Just looking, there's no way there's ever gonna be a map big enough that's gonna show, a paper map, so.
2,
But the PDFs,
It
you'll be able
says
to,
two
they'll be able to
dimensions.
zoom in and, so.
We can get feedback.
no, see, I'm sorry, it said 2 did not
2 and
change.
4.
But it did change on
Yeah.
4.
Third one is pretty much-
No, wait, 4. Go ahead, what kind of feedback do you want to get?
No, I said 2 and 4, they're not that much difference in them. 2 and 4.
They look different. They look a lot different.
Yeah.
2 and 4.
Well, I think in terms of my.
Oh, we're looking at, okay.
Yeah, I like the way the boundaries are, with the, all the way up to Jacksonville, so.
Is Jacksonville whole?
Huh?
Is Jacksonville whole?
Whole.
Whole, is the city whole? Or
You mean
the
like-
split? The city whole, is it split?
Is it for me? Is it split? No, I'm in Argenta.
Okay, but you
Yeah.
said all the way up to Jacksonville, that's what I was curious.
Right, I'm all the way up to close to the Lonoke County line. Yeah.
Okay.
There's not, when I look at 2 and 4, it's not really that much of a difference
Between the current.
between the two when it comes like to Jackson. It's basically really the same. I may have picked up a little bit of Aaron's, but not a whole lot.
Well, 11 has Jacksonville in it.
Huh?
Jacksonville's in the 11.
Right, yeah. Mostly Jacksonville's in 11, but I have still have
Mostly 12 is Sherwood.
What's your current district?
10. And it goes it's all the way up to, it's near the Lonoke County line. Up to Graham Road.
Yeah, it says, you said 2 and 4? It says
Two.
on alternative 2, districts 13 and 14 lose to district 10. So district 10 gained. And then for, it doesn't mention district 10, just says compact. We'll be able to get some more information, more details to add
Yeah,
to
because
this.
in 13 and 14, it took me up close to, number 2, it took it up to close to Scenic Hill, if I'm not mistaken.
13 and 14 lose to District 10. Lose population.
But really and truly, I'm not understanding why did they, on the 2, why would I lose to this, why would 13 and 14 lose to my district anyway? It seems so,
Because their populations were,
Because they had more population,
Yeah.
so they had to lose population and give to 10, like 9 and 10 both had to add population.
okay,
Whereas 11 and 12 were right at almost at the target,
okay.
and 13 and 14 were overpopulated. So you had to give away population, whereas 10 and 11 were,
And I didn't pick up any of
11 and
15.
12 were right there at the target. So that would be why. If you don't have to mess with the district, you don't want to, if possible, but it's kind of hard because when you take from one place, it's like a domino effect. Especially if you don't want to split up, creating more splits, or if you're trying to overlay those other districts, it can create a problem. So it's a domino effect.
and the goal by law is to have them all equal.
Right.
So 2 and 4 basically will make it equal.
All of them.
Well, they all do.
They all do.
Well, the layout, I like 2 and 4.
They're all within the standard deviation,
Okay.
which is plus or minus 5%. No greater than 10.
I'm gonna go. Thank y'all for y'all's time and service.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments?
What would be the next step that you're doing?
So tomorrow we have 2 community outreach meetings in West Little Rock and one in Sherwood. Tuesday we're going to Wrightsville City Hall in that evening. And then we're going to discuss a time period that we need to kind of take in all the comments. We want to provide at least a week or so, or 2 weeks of public comments after that. That's what we're going to do after this. And then come back together and determine if we need to either adjust 1 or 2 or 3 of the maps or create another map based on the comments, depending on how how much how many comments are, if they create so much confusion, if we add it to the maps, that we need to create a new map, or if we can just make some minor adjustments to the maps.
They did let me know, Metro Plan, that if we select that when y'all determine a map that is what you agree on, then they can also make revisions to that map. They said it's easier, or it gets kind of convoluted if you change 3 maps or whatever. But they'll do whatever.
Right.
But they said if you do, determine one map, they can make revisions to if based off public comment.
Sometimes
Go ahead.
righteous changes brings difference of opinion, and the ones who made the map may have different opinion. Would you have to contemplate a lawsuit? Is that in the calendar also?
Say that
In
again.
case, well, what I'm saying is, if you make righteous changes, say something wrong with them, and the other party who against that, so no, I'm not gonna move my feet anymore. This is what you have to go. Are you gonna contemplate lawsuits? If you determine that what you're doing is right, would that be on the table? That's what it amounted to. Because I would imagine further down the road, after you see it's going to be some disagreement with, if you try to do things one way, the other party try to do it the next way. So it's going to butt heads. I mean, it's in reality, not.
Are you
There's
actually
only one line.
allowing a timeline for any lawsuit? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going by what the media said about November 30th. They give you 18 days, 17 days to do what you got to do. And in between that little time, if your disagreement can't be worked out, and one pushing too far one way, would a lawsuit be contemplated?
That's based on the.
Not trying to steer you towards that, but that's everyday life.
Yeah, that's based on the Senate, and that's a little bit different than what we're doing. Commissioner Emmett, you had a comment?
Yeah, we're going to agree to some map, and it's our duty under the law as county election commissioners to redistrict the quorum force. If this is why we're having these meetings, to hear what you have to say, if you think there's something wrong. But I don't contemplate a lawsuit for what we're doing. There may be something at the state level or higher up, but for our part, it's simply redrawing the quorum court boundaries in our county.
But what can I do here?
You can tell us what you think.
I just got to. Don't take it the wrong way with what I said, but
Yeah.
it'd be so much argument, into this. So you look at the overall picture.
And that's why we're going out into the community. That's where we're taking a little bit of a different approach by going out in the community and listening to the concerns and the community and letting them see what's out there and making sure that we're hearing the community and doing things a little bit differently instead of just sitting here downtown and expecting everybody to come to us. So I think that approach is that's just a better approach.
Right.
And taking into those as well the online comments, everything else from only people that are residents of Pulaski County, of course, because I don't care what someone from Falkirk County thinks about Pulaski County or any other county in Arkansas. But and making sure that we're listing those and those comments do follow the criteria, the legal criteria set forth, the Voting Rights Act, and all the precedent that's there, and that we take in consideration of those as a body, and look at one of these maps and see if we can fit those comments that follow all those criteria into one of these maps. If we can't, we don't want to do what we've seen at the state level with some of the congressional maps, is because what I personally witnessed, and I'm sure others did, is they try to fix the maps, and it created a lot of chaos. And sometimes you just have to create a brand new map. But we're not there, so
No,
we're just want to see what the community has to say, get their thoughts on there, and then come back to the table and really be thoughtful about this. Yes,
I want to know, like, so are y'all going to factor in the map that was introduced at Form Court?
no,
They're not, okay.
no, I don't mind giving the reason for that, but it does not fit the criteria that we have established
Oh,
under the
okay.
law.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good weekend.
Thank you. Yes, ma'am. And thank you for your comments, sir.
With the redrawing of this map, will it affect any of the polling places?
So it could, and so this is why when I read off those different pieces earlier, it's really important, and it's really important to get all the cities and everyone else's lines, because it can change some of those. And if you want to explain a little bit more, Melinda, you're more than welcome to.
Well, once the JP districts are drawn, and a lot of the cities are redistricting, we would have to kind of look and see where the polling locations changes with your precinct change.
Mm-hmm.
It's not with your district change, but you don't want a whole bunch of splits. So sometimes if it's just, you've got to move the line over a little bit to get it, to clean it up. Usually you clean up your precincts after redistricting, and that's where the polling location change comes into effect.
Because that's what I was wondering. I was at a meeting in North Little Rock, and they were talking about their redistricting. And so I was just wondering how that, because we're in District 9, how that would affect us if those things start changing. Are you all working together to make sure that we're not having to do a lot of shifting based on our area?
That was the more difficult thing from this, because the commissioners, or the board, got everything so late. And the cities, everything's later than what it was. So normally we are talking to the cities though, and trying to get our plans together, but we can't push it too late, because we have to get the lines, districts all in for the voters, for volunteering and all that great stuff.
May I add something?
Yes.
When Melinda was talking about splits, like, do you know what that is? It's when all these lines change, the people within it suddenly become in a different JP district or different House district. And so if we didn't make a change to our precinct boundaries, there would be 50 different things to be voted on within that area. So not all the people in that area would get the same ballots, and it would create a lot of confusion. So we try to take, once the lines are drawn, before we redraw precincts, to make them where most of the people within any precinct gets the same stuff, gets to vote on the same criteria, the same JP, the same House rep, and the same city board or city council member. It makes for a cleaner election administration process. And that's a hard job. And then the clerk will go and update all that information in your voter system.
Yeah, and we currently, what was it, 552, Amanda, with the school boards? Ballot style, yes, let's.
And I don't know if you've ever seen it, Susan, but I've never seen it. Pulaski's always going to have a lot of splits.
Of course.
But we want to work towards having less within a precinct, because it causes confusion with the paper ballots, but we wish we could just have.
And the voters too, when the voter decides you have a different ballot than you have, and you want to know why. Well, that's why.
But we understand that when the polling sites change, it creates a lot of confusion, and that's never good. And so we're going to be working very carefully with that, trying to reduce that as much as possible, and making sure if there are any changes, of course, the county clerk sends out any kind of change that's going to be permanent. But we'll also try to create communication campaigns and make sure that people are very aware of those changes, because we understand there are big elections coming up next year, and we don't want anyone going the wrong location. So we understand that.
Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Does anyone else have any questions? I really urge, if you could just please share this information. I don't think a lot of the community just knows about the redistricting of this side, and local government is important. I mean, I say it's just as important as your state and federal government. And people just don't realize, I think, a lot of times what's going on in local, because the information's just not out there and available. So if you could just share this information and let them know that this is up and running, that would be really helpful. So the more people that's involved, the better decisions that we can make. But that's all I have on the maps. They'll be up later this evening, and there'll be some interactive ability. If you have the technical, it's not too much technical skill, but if you have some technical skill, you can do the Google interactive ability. You just need a Google account to do that. But if you don't, find a friend, have them figure it out and share it with you.
Ask your daughter or your grandchild.
But it's going to be really, really cool, and I would urge you to do that as well. VotePulaski.net. Go to redistricting information. The comment email is on there, and you do have to put your Pulaski County name, address, so that we can verify that you are a Pulaski County resident. Our next item is we're going to be discussing timelines of public comment period. Yes, ma'am.
Just need to go back to the provisional certification. I forgot to have you guys sign.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So, I want to thank the county clerk for reminding me of this document.
You need the date.
I guess I could have pre-filled that in. I forgot, I'm sorry.
Amanda. So what happens after your Mountain Dew?
I have my calendar. I have my calendar.
Been
out
sipping
ready.
on it all day, but I haven't had as much as I normally do, so that's probably the issue.
Caffeine withdrawal.
That's what I'm gonna blame it on. Thank you.
All right, so today's 11/12. We revealed. We have 11/16 is the date of the public meeting at Wrightsville. Okay, so what is your proposal, Melinda?
I wasn't sure how long, I mean, you think that you want to do public input, so are you thinking like a 2-week period?
I was thinking about a 2-week period.
So if we
What do y'all
want-
think about a 2-week period for public input?
I
Yeah.
think that's reasonable.
Okay, so 2 weeks from today would be what?
November 26th.
Yeah.
Okay,
The day after.
we'll all be not here.
Turkey gumbo day.
So we could, do we want to do it through the 29th? Or,
Let's see here.
Is that Monday?
yes.
I won't be
What was that
here.
date?
I'll be flying.
We-
I'll be
that-
I say
Tuesday.
we do it until, well, I mean, end it on the 29th so they can gather the
We'll have to-
information.
It'll take us. we're
And then
gonna have
maybe
to
we
gather-
can meet on the 1st.
I like that idea.
And maybe do it till midnight on Sunday, the 28th. And that way it'll give y'all all day Monday, all day Tuesday, all day Wednesday. Just in case there's too many.
Do it when, did you say?
The midnight on the 21st, I mean the 28th. And that way y'all, instead of doing it ended on that Monday, that gives y'all plenty of time to organize the information. Does that seem
Mhm.
good? Okay. And then we could meet on the 1st. Does that work at 5 p.m.? 5 p.m. on the 1st? And that's the same, with that's also, we have to meet anyway because we have to approve the school board. School board zone maps, what it says,
Will we have them?
on the 1st. So we're supposed to, the only one I think we have to approve is the Little Rock School District's one.
Okay. Then that's a meeting day.
Yeah, so that's a meeting date anyway.
Will that be a
Right,
day?
I still need to coordinate that with them because they had some different dates that I've been looking at the calendar, but yeah,
Now, this is a required date,
yeah,
so.
right. For the, yeah.
For
board.
Little Rock, it's just Little Rock is the one we have to approve on that date. So 12/1 is when we could review the organized public comments and approve Little Rock Schools District zones.
And at that meeting, it would probably be good to have Metro Plan.
Yes.
Would we be able to make a decision on that day?
I think it'd probably be good to give ourselves a few days, you know,
I think so.
kind of look at them, go back and, yeah, probably a week,
Is that time to get,
like to the next Wednesday.
okay,
Give us time to go and look at the suggestions, be able to play around with them on the Google Earth and see what they're asking and reasonableness and does it fit criteria, things like that. Then come back and have our list of what we think
is that time enough to get it to master plan to make any adjustments?
so that would be the
What they
7th.
need?
Let's see here. It'd be the 8th.
The 8th is that Wednesday.
Yeah. So if we came back on the 8th, they would get our requirements on the 9th. I mean, we're still getting within our time frame here.
The deadline for the board to establish cornerstone districts
Is the
is
1st.
January 3rd. It's on your,
It's on the, it has to be followed by the 3rd, yes, because it's the holiday.
mhm.
And then it's a weekend. So.
Could we finish it up and final proof it like on the 15th of December? Is that feasible?
And so if we come back on the 8th, if we give it to them on the 9th, our recommendations,
And then come back on the 15th and officially vote? Is that too crunch of a time?
if they can have it done by the 15th, that's a question for them.
I-
I know you're going to be
And
on
they
the
probably
17th.
can, but you can do that without me. if
Yeah.
you- But, because I'm out the 15th, 16th, and 17th.
Okay.
But it depends on the changes, but I really don't think they would have a problem with it. I mean, because that would give them, we're saying the 8th to them, to like the 15th or
Well, we're
something.
saying we meet on the 8th and you give them the changes,
The 9th.
not,
Yeah.
ready to change.
I think maybe we should do the 17th to give them a full week. Just to play it safe.
That gets real close to the holiday. But, I mean,
Well, we don't have to do a secondary public comment period.
No, we don't.
No, that's what I'm saying, that's when we could do it on the
That's just fine,
17th.
fine.
Mhm. Then we could vote.
Okay, that's fine. That kind of builds in well, and if they run into any problems, they can contact us, and if another meeting in the interim is necessary. Right? The 17th?
Would you prefer us to do it on the 18th, Melinda?
I will be, I'm actually, before I started this job, I'm scheduled out, I'm going on vacation, so I'm out of town.
The entire week? Okay.
Through the 19th.
Okay. So, what is
That's
it,
what
the
I have.
17th?
The 17th. That's, you can hit that, can't you?
I got this.
Okay. So the 17th.
So that's the day we come back with, and make our final vote and release the
Yeah,
map.
yeah.
The big read.
And that was at 5 o'clock.
Yeah, so 12-1 at 5, 12-8 at 5, 12-17 at 5.
then the 17th is the final decision.
That would be the final decision.
Gotcha. Does that work for you, Madam Clerk?
Works for me.
Great. And that probably avoids any Christmas parties, because there's no like Christmas parties on Wednesday, because you also have like all kinds of stuff going on around that time too, so.
Yes, we will be partying Monday and Tuesday.
You just say you're partying?
We're going to
No. I'm leaving on Monday, flying out on Monday the 20th.
Okay.
For some grand living.
Very nice.
Will
So
we
is that-
have school, not school, yeah, school, will we have school?
We should have Little Rock School District on the 1st of December.
Okay.
Then unfortunately, Pulaski County, they had a match review the other night, but they put it off until I think next month, because they don't have to have theirs done until the summer. So I don't think they're gonna do anything yet.
We don't review that anyway, right?
No.
No, but it'd be nice to
No,
have it.
But sure would like to have it, because they have to change theirs because their population changed. They have to change theirs, but they have till July, I think, or June, something,
Right.
June
I
20th.
think Mark has already talked to them and they're gonna get us something.
I think I know a lot of
But
people.
you're right, they don't have to have anything till June, but hopefully they'll have.
I think a lot of people are talking to them, asking them to please go ahead. I think the question that I've heard over there is they think if they don't do it, they don't have to run again.
Oh, Lord.
So I think there's a question of, do you have to run if you don't do your lines until summer? I don't care. I was like, just give them half.
We want to make sure our elections are right. so
Exactly,
we-
exactly.
We need them to.
Just give me your zones, because those zones have changed. They're going to be pretty drastic. So Little Rock school zones are just, they had some errors in this past one, so they have to just, it's not going to be huge changes, but they had some cleanup from what I understand. So that shouldn't be too different. I don't know about North Little Rock School District. I haven't heard anything. I mean, everybody's had changes, so I would think that would change too. So I saw City of Little Rock posted their wards today for public comment today. So I don't know. But
There's a lot of work ahead of you, Terry.
Yes, we do, staff does.
so hopefully we can get this by the 17th. That should give the clerk's office plenty of time to get all the voter addresses, everything, street stuff updated. Much better than our 12/31 date,
I agree.
12/29 date. So this definitely shrinks that. Do you have any thoughts, Commissioner? I don't know why I want to call you Commissioner David.
That's fine. I think that we're on track. I think that,
You gotta watch these silent ones over here.
I know. Be careful.
Very silent, scary. The next meeting is after, other than these public meeting, outreach meetings, is the 19th.
It's the 19th.
So I am leaving next Friday, after all. It's Bailey's fault. So we're leaving for Florida Friday morning. I will keep y'all aware of my status. And if I am in a place that I can zoom in with video, I will be there. If I am not, I will pass it over to Commissioner Scott, but I will let you know. And I apologize, but I need a vacation, so I'm going to take this opportunity to take one.
Commissioner Scott and I can handle it.
Y'all have got it, and y'all have got it. I think you're good. And that's just the certification of the November 9th. Okay.
That's correct.
That's correct. All right. So tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m., Roosevelt Thompson.
We're just gonna meet up.
Yes.
Just gonna meet there.
Do you have a way to carry the maps?
Yeah, I was wondering if there would have been my car. I'll fit my car on
Do y'all have a van, truck, something?
We have some, we have a couple of issues.
Do you have, what if it's raining?
there. Have a small SUV.
I mean, I.
Well, we park underground, so we can pull in our parking garage. If it's raining, if it's not, we'll just go in out the side.
If you need another car to help you haul it, holler at me, I can fold the seats down.
So can I ask for a few things? Since you're coming here in the morning, will you print out those, like the bullet points you did, but could you add on there, like could you put like the variances on like on each one with the population for each one, and then put that for the map, like next to the, like how do you have alternative map 1, could you put alternative map 1's populations?
They're on there.
No, on the piece of paper
Oh, okay.
that people could have, so like,
Oh, yeah.
is that,
Now,
you don't do that?
I can
Hand
see
outs.
because I think the files that he gave me, I think I can pull the variances off
Okay,
of-
that would be good.
off of that. I haven't looked yet because we've been doing all the elections.
If y'all
stuff.
have enough time to do that, just so we have something that, also for us to be able to say, this is what this one has, and this is this one,
Yeah.
and we're at this
If they don't
percentage.
have time to do it today, we can take numbers or an email and send it to, or they can take a picture of it from that.
We were going to meet here, me and Amanda were.
You're gonna what?
So we'll
We're
just
gonna be
meet,
here.
we'll just meet
He
here.
said get married.
No.
What?
We're already
married.
Yeah.
Not to each other.
I'm confused.
No.
Get prepared.
No.
What
And
time
we will
would
not
that
be
be?
streaming it,
So we'll just give her a letter.
but we do have to record it by law.
Yes.
So are you bringing the recorder?
Yes, I
Okay,
have the recorder.
okay.
Yeah.
With fresh batteries? She's more OCD than me.
Well, actually, it was Betty. She handed me the recorder and a box of batteries.
And she said, put it by
box
Christy,
of
didn't
that.
she?
She said, here.
She said, put it next to Christy. I swear. Okay,
Yeah,
so,
you'll carry it around with you.
no. So tomorrow morning, 10:30 a.m., we'll be at Roosevelt Thompson Library on Rawling by the U.S. Pizza, in case you get hungry after. And then after that, at 1:30 p.m., we'll be
The Phil Harmon Recreation Center in Sherwood.
the Phil Harmon Recreation Center in Sherwood. Tuesday at 7 p.m. we'll be in Wrightsville City Hall. And then Friday, we have a meeting here at 5 p.m. for the certification of the Cal's special election. Any comments, Jody?
The only one is from Trey Baldwin, and he just asked, are these maps available online now? But you guys had addressed that earlier.
This just a reminder, the maps will be available here in a little while, and then there'll also be a Google Earth availability if you have the technical skills to do so. And commenting online, and there'll be some area, I do not want to say the word drop boxes, there's going to be some suggestion boxes available around, and we'll let you know what those locations are. And votepulaski.net, follow Facebook, follow Twitter, and you'll get all the information you need. And please share